What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button or go back to the previous videos, watch those first, then hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram right here, and let's get into the video. So what is this video? This video is, well, you saw by the title and probably the thumbnail, this is a comparison between Cyelee optics, the Wolf 2 and the Wolf X Pro. So I want to give a massive shout out to Cyelee for sending out these optics to me. They sent these to me on the price of on the house just to do a little comparison video of the two. So I'm trying to make this quick because the last video I posted was about this Wolf X Pro right here, which is a duty rated optic from them, and I did a torture testing, so as you can see it's a little destroyed right now. Glass is broken, but the emitter's still working and it was still holding 0. So pretty good for me. So after that video, reached out, Cyelee reached back out to me, seeing how I like the optic, and I actually let them know that I was a little upset that I broke the optic because I kind of like it. So they actually wound up sending me a replacement of that, the Wolf X Pro right here, which I have it mounted back on my P320 right here. And they sent me out this extra one to do like a little review comparison of, this is their Wolf 2. Supposedly has like astigmatism relief or something like that. It's supposed to be clearer for you, I don't know. We'll get into that in a minute. If you want to see the full video on the torture testing of this optic, go back to the video. I'll actually link it in the top corner. Also, you can pause this video, go check that out, and come back here just to see kind of the thoughts of what I did, I guess, with this optic right here, the Wolf X Pro. Pretty good. Like I said, it is still working, just we don't have a button. We don't have an up button. I don't think the minus button works either, but glass is broken, but it still works. Cyelee did send me these optics out for testing purposes, so I did not pay for these. So take that with a grain of salt, but it is with the understanding that I could say and do whatever the hell I want with these optics. Obviously, since I did shoot this with a shotgun, so yeah. We're trying to make this a quicker video just to do a comparison because, to be completely honest with you, I did not go shoot with this optic at all, the Wolf 2. Just kind of got it, I mounted it on my shotgun, then I took it back off just to do some like shots from it, and I'll probably just throw it back on the shotgun if I don't give it away or give it to a friend or something. Let's just run down some stats. I will run down stats of both of them. I just gotta pull them up on my phone, give me 1 second. The Wolf 2 right here is a $126 optic. This does have a 3 MOA dot with a 64 MOA circle. That is not changeable, so you always have the circle. You always have the dot with the circle on this. You can't do anything about that. You do have 10 illumination settings. You have 8 daylight ones and then 2 night vision ones. Top load CR1632 battery, 50,000 hours of battery life. It is waterproof. 1 MOA clicks of adjustment. The Wolf X Pro says it turns off after 4 minutes. The Wolf 2 says after a few minutes. So I'm just gonna go with it turns off after 4 minutes automatically. Then it does have shake awake technology. So once you pick it up, it turns back on. This is an RMR footprint. So any gun you have that has the Trijicon RMR, Holosun 507C or 407C, stuff like that, this will mount, no problem, right onto there. Your Wolf X Pro is a $235 optic, all the same stats, except for it has a 2 MOA dot and a 26 MOA circle, and those are interchangeable, so you can go dot, circle, or dot with the circle. But everything else, basically the same. Now the Wolf 2 does come on this little extra piece of rail mounting, whatever. You can mount this to anything that has Picatinny. Like you saw in the B-roll, you can mount it to a shotgun if you have a rail, you can mount it to a sub gun, or I guess for whatever reason, if you wanted to mount it underneath, under there, you can, whatever. You can mount it to anything like that, or you can take this off and just direct mount it to anything that has the RMR footprint. Most of the B-roll you're gonna see, it does have the Wolf X Pro, the broken one, well, broken because I don't feel like unmounting the good one from my SIG, so we're just gonna go roll with the B-roll of the broken one next to all the other ones. So you do have the Wolf X Pro, the Holosun 507C, and, or I guess this one's a 407C, but they're the same thing. And then the Wolf 2, as you see the different size differences. The Wolf 2 doesn't have as beefy of a frame as you have on the Wolf X Pro. That could be an issue for durability in the long run. I don't know. I'm not planning on dropping my gun, but if you do, I guess that's a nice insurance policy to have in the back of your mind that you won't just crack your glass from one drop. This, once again, if you go back to the durability testing, I will probably just add in some B-roll right here. I did hammer in some nails with this. I was racking it off the bed rack and stuff on my truck. And then, like I said, did shoot it with a shotgun. So this thing still works. So no complaints with this thing. So the Wolf 2, just one thing to note is the little Picatinny thing on the bottom does have little springs. So when you loosen it up, it loosens up and it makes it easier to take off the rail. This is my Holosun 503 HS503CU. This does not have that, so as you see, it just stays. It's a thing, I guess, just something to note. Now, another part of the comparison is the dot / circle dot size. So once again, the Wolf X Pro, which is the duty rated one, is a 2 MOA dot with a 26 MOA circle. The Wolf 2, which is the little thinner anemic looking guy here, is a 3 MOA dot with a 64 MOA circle. That is a very big noticeable difference between the two. So looking at the two, I'm not gonna be able to do this in the camera here. Looking in the camera there, you could kind of see the difference. It is a huge difference between the two. I personally don't care about the circle when I run my optics. I do run it with just the dot. I find that better for myself. You might find it better to run the circle dot or just the circle. That is why I own a 407C as opposed to a 507C, because the 407C from Holosun is cheaper than the 507C, and this is just the dot. The 507C, you have the option to switch between, like you do with the Wolf X Pro. Now, just to put the dot size, well, circle dot size into perspective, the 64 MOA dot right there is the same as this, which is a rifle optic from Holosun. Well, you could probably put this on other things, but this is mainly a rifle optic. The 503CU. This is a 2 MOA dot or a 65 MOA circle. So this is a 3 and 64, 2, 65. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this one too. Well, you'll see in the B-roll, it's the same size dot, which is a little ridiculous, but with this you can switch between dot, circle, circle dot. This, you're just stuck with circle dot. Now, after just those couple differences, since we do have the smaller dot on here than this one, just personal preference, which one would I go with? I would probably spend the extra $100-ish and get the Wolf X Pro, which is duty rated, just because I know for a fact that I could beat the crap out of this thing and it's still gonna work. The Wolf 2 will probably hold up pretty good, but I just don't have the same confidence I do with that as I do with the Wolf X Pro. Just looking by sheer thickness of the body of the optic, you can see how much thicker the Wolf X Pro is. And also having the option to change between the dot circle and the circle dot, as opposed to the Wolf 2, which are just stuck with the circle dot. But here comes the other question. Since we're spending the extra $100 for the Wolf X Pro here, would you just use the same amount of money and get a Holosun 407C for basically the same money? So the Holosun, you can get it in a red dot or a green dot. Then you can get the 407C or the 507C, which, like I said, 407C is just a dot. 507C, you have the option to do dot, circle, or circle dot, just like the Wolf X Pro here. But if you want the 507C, you're spending even more money for that option than if you want a green. I think it's a little bit more also. Holosun, you do, depending on which model you get, you can get this little solar panel on the top, which may or may not work, I don't know. I'm not really keeping my batteries in the optics for long enough to have to rely on the solar panel. I believe the Holosun, you also have 50,000 hours of battery life, which is more than enough time, and it is good practice to just change your batteries once a year, usually New Year's or on your birthday or something like that, just so you do it every single time. So the amount of hours isn't as big of a deal until you get to something like a Leupold Delta Point Pro, which has like maybe like 4,000. I think it's like a month of battery life on the Leupold Delta Point Pro. So like something like that is horrible, and then something like this, overkill, but awesome to have that bit of overkill. One of the other things that you have with the Holosun is you still have that shake away technology, but you do have where your dot will brighten or dim depending on the illumination of your ambient area. So you do have that option with this. You do not have that option with the Cyelees, but some people don't care about that. I like it, but some people don't really care about that. So that was my best attempt to give the most unbiased opinion on these optics. Like I did say, I didn't really do much testing on the Wolf 2. The astigmatism thing kind of works, but kind of I don't know. I do wear contacts and it does correct my astigmatism a little bit, so I don't really notice the issue that much that other people have with red dots. But if you're interested in these optics, I do have a discount code. I do have a 10% discount code, especially for the Wolf X Pro, which is the one that I actually recommend. And I don't know if it worked for the Wolf 2, but you can try it out also. But here's the discount code. It's through Amazon, so add it to your cart. When you get to the checkout part, there is a spot to add like a promotion or gift code or something like that. That's where you're gonna add this code in. It's gonna take the 10% off. Works for the Wolf X Pro. Like I said, I'm not sure if it does for the Wolf 2. So if you want to support the channel in any way and you don't want those optics, you could use those Amazon affiliate links down below, or just subscribe. Share the video, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, all that good stuff. I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys liked the video. Join me for the next one and stay strapped or get clapped. Peace out.